Good morning you guys, it's Karen, and I had a request for a video that I thought was just perfect timing for us in the UK, and it was to do swatches of my Kat Von D liquid lipsticks. So I thought I would do a try on for you. I've only got 4, but there's some of the popular ones here. And it's just come out in our Debenhams in the UK, so we can buy Kat Von D online at Debenhams. I don't know if it's in any stores. I'm sure it will be in some, but maybe in really big cities. Certainly I'll have to order it online. That's why I'm close up, so that you can see the colour. I have got my first colour on now. What I'm going to do is tell you what lip liner I use with the lipstick and show you it on me so that you can see exactly what it looks like. Just to talk about the formula, I have found the formula to be consistent with all 4 lipsticks, and I think I might have had one other and not liked the colour and given it away, but I can't think of what it is. But the formula is very consistent. It's very matte. This is definitely one of those. If you think that matte liquid lipsticks are drying, then you're probably not going to like this. Although some people say it's the only one they can use without it drying out their lips. It feels dry to me. It feels like a matte liquid lipstick, and if I don't want my lips to be too dry, then as the day goes on, I will end up putting some of my Dior Creme de Rose on the top just to give them a little bit of moisture. If I just use this, I feel like my lips would feel a little bit dry at the end of the day. But I don't mind that because I like a matte lipstick. Okay, so the first colour is the one that I am wearing just now, and this one is called Bow and Arrow. This is what it looks like in the tube. And with it I am wearing a NYX lip liner, and this one is in Natural, I think it's called. Natural, yes, Natural, MPLO1. And I just think that they're a perfect mix. I really like to wear a lip liner, but it's not essential. I have seen a lot of people applying these lipsticks with just on their own, because the brush it's a very skinny tube and I like that, and so it's quite a small little doe foot applicator. So I have used them without a lip liner on occasion. I just, for my own lips, I think they look nicer when I've got a bit of an outline. So that's them there. You can see that the lip liner is slightly lighter, so it's not one of those looks where you can see the lip liner, but for me it just defines my lips a little bit more. Okay, so before I show you the next colour, let me tell you what I did with my makeup just to try and suit the lipstick process. I don't know whether it will suit this next one because it's a kind of lilac colour, but I used MAC Tan pigment just very lightly on my eyes, and I'm into this little winged liner lately. I don't know why, but it's quite a nice neutral look that I think goes with lots of different lipsticks, so that's why I chose that look. And again with blush, I used the blush by Essence called Silky Touch, and it's in number 70 Kissable, and it's a nice sort of plummy colour, and I thought again that that would go with most of these colours. So I'm going to wipe this Bow and Arrow off and then go on to the next colour. Okay, so blank canvas again. What you might have seen me do there, I don't know whether I'm going to keep the footage in or not, I will maybe put it in and speed it up, is what I do is I put concealer over the top of my lips. So I wiped it off with a wipe, put concealer over my lips, and then a little bit of powder. I do that before every lipstick application, always have done. It's always made my lipstick last longer. Oh goodness, I've got reminders and all sorts popping up, apologies. The colour I'm going to use is called Requiem, and it is beautiful. I've never seen another colour like this. The lip liner I'm using is the NARS lip liner in El Agua that I have spoiled by sharpening. You're not supposed to sharpen, you're supposed to twist it up. It has got a little sharpener on the end though. I'm just going to sharpen it. I forgot about that, to be honest, because it will make it a little bit more pointed, hopefully. Yeah. So I really like this lip liner. Beautiful lilac colour. I've kind of gone, you might have noticed I've gone a bit over the lip liner just because the lip liner is quite dark and I don't want it to look too much of a contrast. I just don't have the perfect lip pencil for this colour. And to be honest, I often wear this one mixed in with Bow and Arrow. In fact, I'll do that for you in a moment so you can see them mixed in together. But this is it on its own. And actually, if you want to make this more purple, what I do sometimes wear is this one. This is a Colourpop lip liner in Brills, it's called. I'll show you it. So you can see El Agua is more of a pink colour. So there you've got El Agua that's the lipstick, and then that is Brill's. So you can see that that is a nice bright purple. So if you wanted to make that more purpley, you could do a thicker line and then do this and sort of rub your lips together, you know, and that would look a lot brighter. Okay, so this is the Requiem, which is the lilac one. I don't know if I even told you the name of that. The lilac one called Requiem, with a little bit of bow and arrow put over the top. And it is much easier to do if you do it as soon as it's on your lips, so that you're mixing them together while they're wet, before they've dried, you know. The only thing with that is you are going to contaminate one of the brushes. You are going to mix the colours together. But I suppose you could maybe put a bit on your hand and then use your finger and put it on if you didn't want to mix them up. But it just kind of dulls it down a bit and makes it not quite so purple. But it's more of a purpley brown, and it's like I said, I just don't think there's enough purpley brown lipsticks or lip pencils or anything out there. Changing tactic to take this off, and I'm using some of my Simply Essentials 2-in-1, which is an oily makeup remover, with a cotton bud, just because I'm having to rub too much. They are very, very, very long lasting lipsticks. For me, they are not invincible. I know that a lot of people say they are. You know, I've seen Jacqueline Hill's, in fact, that was the reason I bought one in the first place, was she said she had it on and she had eaten all day and it hadn't budged, and that was Bachelorette, I remember. Pretty sure it was. But for me, I remember with Lolita the other day, I had Lolita on and I ate some blueberries. I said it on screen, I ate some blueberries and some chicken. So it wasn't like, you know, I wasn't eating a big greasy burger or anything that you would expect to take off your lipstick. And it didn't stay on very well. So I would say they stay on obviously better than anything that's not a liquid lipstick. But as far as, sorry, I'm faffing with my hair, scratching my nose, but I'm like this in life. I'm just a complete fidget. But they are one of the longest staying liquid lipsticks. I haven't found any of them that are invincible in that way. I'm really desperate to try the Chanel, I think it's called Rouge Intensity, Rouge Double Intensity, but we don't have them in the UK, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a bummer, but there you go. Okay, so the next colour I'm going to use is called Bachelorette, and this is the first one I bought. This one is definitely longer lasting than the lighter colours, if you like. So that's good, because, you know, I only wear a bold colour if I know that I don't have to worry about it smearing. It's not like if you rub it, it won't come off or anything like that. I think it's just if you get any kind of moisture or oil near your mouth, then it's going to come off. So if you're doing anything other than just sipping on a cup of tea or coffee. So the lip liner I'm using with this is a NYX one, and it is in Red Tape. So apologies if I get the mirror in the way. I'm so terrible at this. Doing these videos, and they do them so quickly. They just slap on the lipstick and it looks amazing. And I'm like, how do they do that? Do you know, I've been doing YouTube for more than 4 years, or nearly 4 years, around about that time anyway, and I still feel like a beginner. Okay, so this is Bachelorette. This is one of my all-time favourite red lipsticks. I absolutely adore it. I think it's one of the colours that suits me. I love all red lipsticks. I love really dark berry lipsticks, plummy kind of colours. But if I put a sort of plummy colour on me, I don't think it looks right. Some of you guys have given me feedback and said you like it, but there's been a lot more like, that colour just doesn't suit you, you know, I look a bit gothic like, but this sort of brighter red I think does suit my paler skin, and I really like it. And like I said, it does last a long time, so it's one you can put on and you don't have to worry about smudging it over your face or anything. That's what bothered me all before with normal lipsticks, if you like. The only one I would wear would be the real retro matte from MAC, you know, that literally won't budge from your lips. So yeah, this is the Kat Von D in Bachelorette. Okay, so the next and final one, sorry, did I show you those? That's the red ones there, the Bachelorette. The last and final one is my most recent purchase, and it's one of my favourites. It's called Lolita. And I spent a long time deciding between Lolita and Lolita 2. I couldn't decide which one to buy, and I'm so glad I got Lolita. I think Lolita 2 is more orangey. I'm still tempted to try that one, and again, that's one I would be swatching and seeing how it compared to this if we get it in store. The lip liner I'm using with it is called Frick and Frack by Colourpop. I will do a swatch on here so you can see it. I don't know why I'm doing it on my hand. I just sometimes feel like you get, whoops, a better idea of the colour on a hand than on the lips, but that doesn't really make sense, does it? These are going to look like some big old lips, which I don't mind, but it never looks that neat. This Lolita one is actually the most patchiest out of them all. And that's not to say that you can't make it not look patchy, but see there where I put the colour there, I'm run out of colour quickly, if that makes sense. So you really have to load the brush up, I feel like, on this one. So that's the liquid lipstick in Lolita. I will link all of the lip liners and lipsticks for you, of course, in the description. Like I said, this is one of my favourite. I think this is my favourite because, actually, you know what? I can see that patchiness there. I don't know whether you can see it. Let me show you close up. Can you see? It's a little bit patchy close up. Sorry, wobbling. I feel like I need to go over this one a lot. Okay, there's a little gap there and a bit there. That has no colour on it. It's easily remedied. It's not a patchiness that you can't remedy. I just feel like I need to pay more attention with this lipstick. But as I was saying, this is one of my favourites because I feel like it's a bold lipstick without being too obvious. You know, when I wear that red lipstick, I feel like I really stand out because of it. And I'm not a type of person that wants to stand out in that way. But I do think that this sort of lifts my face and gives me some colour, and I think it suits my hair, whether it's dyed red as it is at the moment or my natural red. You know, I just feel like it's a real me colour. I really enjoy it. And that's everything. Those are the only 4 I have got of those lipsticks. There isn't any other colour that I want, to be honest with you. A lot of people have asked me over the years about the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. And if it does appear in our Debenhams, well, in the Debenhams in Edinburgh, and I get a chance to go and have a look, I might do some swatches and see if it's a foundation that I would consider buying. But I did order quite a few samples when it first came out. I got some samples from Sephora and I did actually get a bottle of it. And I found it too cakey and it wasn't the right colour for me. So I didn't persist with it to try, and I don't think I was even using a beauty blender at the time. But if it was the wrong colour, I wouldn't have wanted to persist with it, if that makes sense. Now you've got things that you can lighten and darken your foundations with. You've got beauty blenders that you can sheer it out. So I will probably give it another go. But it's not something that I didn't enjoy the formula. It felt very, very thick and kind of gloopy, if that makes sense. I just didn't like the feeling of the foundation, but I'd be happy to give it another try. The only other thing I have got of Kat Von D, or tried of Kat Von D, is this Shade and Light palette. This is what it looks like. I barely use this simply because I'm not a matte girl. I don't really wear very many matte eye looks. And this one is all matte, other than this one here is a little bit satin. But there are, I mean, it's a very good accompanying palette, I would think. I haven't used it as an accompanying palette because I've got so many of those. I've got the Tarte Tartlet I use as an accompanying palette, the Too Faced Neutral Matte Eyes or Natural Matte Eyes, what else? The Visart one, the recent one, the Anastasia one. You know, I've got quite a few of those, but I should probably use this as an accompanying palette. But if you like these kind of colours and you like matte eyeshadows, it's so pigmented, so easy to blend, beautiful colours. It's really, really nice. That's the other thing I would recommend. Sorry about that. I don't normally have my phone anywhere near me, but my dad has been in Kansas and I'm just waiting to hear that he got back safely. I thought he was due home yesterday, but that's him just texting to say he's landing at Edinburgh. So I don't know whether he just got his times mixed up because he told me he'd be back on Monday, whether he forgot about the time change or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, he's home safely, so that's good. So yes, my recommendations for Kat Von D are simply that Shade and Light eye palette and the liquid lipsticks. That's all I've tried that I can really talk about. I would like to try some of the blushes, but I've just got so many blushes I don't need anymore. I'm at that point in my life, I'm just not going to keep on buying stuff and buying stuff at the level I was before, you know. I would like to try the concealer. There's a few little things I would like to try, and certainly if I can find it in store, I will go in and have a little play with things, and that might tempt me into buying stuff. But let me tell you what else I've got on. I've probably told you most of it. The foundation is the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation in colour 3.25, MAC Tan pigment on my eyes, and the blush is the Essence in Kissable. That's everything, I think. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.